Guys, oh my god. My pin came today. I'm super excited. Look at that. These pins are huge. Ready? Wait, how do I even get this out? What? Why is there always a struggle? Oh! What did that do? That didn't do anything.
This was a faulty one.
Do we have to break the box?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I got it out. I used pliers, but I got it out. And it's gorgeous. Oh, you have your place now, Sora. Your new home. Yay. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Inkwell. Just to let you know, that pin video at the beginning had nothing to do with the rest of this video. I just wanted to show off my pin. Today I'm drawing in my doodle book. It's the Sea White of Brighton sketchbook, the square 5x5 140 GSM. So the theme for this art piece was the anime and manga Bleach. I drew Ichigo's hollow mask, I drew Cone, I drew Kisuke's hat, I drew Ichigo's Soul Reaper badge, the Shinigami badge, and the Bleach logo. And I think they turned out pretty good. I wanted them all swirling around this sword, which of course is Ichigo's final Bankai, Tensa Zangetsu. And a few seconds ago, you also saw me draw Doodle Ichigo, or at least I tried. Funny story about the sword, I actually asked my boyf to send me a picture of a sword that he liked, just anything he thought was interesting for me to draw. I was thinking he would send me something medieval, or like ninja. What he ended up sending me was this sword. And I've never drawn a sword like this before. But I was up for the challenge, and I actually think it came out pretty cool. So I thought that this was going to be a relatively quick doodle, and boy was I wrong. I thought that this thin swirl going around the sword would take me like 2 hours. It ended up taking me about 5, which is on par with this kind of doodle. The bunny doodle I did in my last video took me maybe 7 hours. So yeah, these doodles take me quite a long time, but they're totally worth it. Because I'm trying to get the swirl to go in one direction, I had to make sure the doodles were also going in that same direction, so I needed to build under them, essentially. It's also around here that I start getting thinner. I do less doodles as I go down, and the reason for that is because I wanted to finish as fast as possible. I do end up going back and thickening up the doodles later, making the doodles more dense, but this did help me finish in a good time. So I'm sure you can see the blue colors in the doodles and in the sword. I used my blue Color Erase pencil. It's supposed to be a coloring pencil that's erasable. It's made by Prismacolor. I really like using it. I like the added color it adds to my doodle book and to my sketches in general, but they don't erase as cleanly as graphite, and it's kind of a give and take. Make your stuff look prettier, but it doesn't erase as well. In this instance, I probably should have used graphite for the doodles, because now the doodles have kind of a bluish tinge to them, but that's not a big deal. Maybe in the future I can use different colors that match the art piece more. So in a piece like this that has like a TV show or a movie or characters as its inspiration, I tend to like connecting that media to my art piece by putting in symbols, icons, different characters, different representations, so that when people look at it, they can go, oh, I know that. But in this case, I just couldn't find much for Bleach. After my extensive research, I only ended up with maybe half a dozen symbols, so I tried to make them as prominent as possible. At this point, I start drawing a bunch of little doodle guys around the top and bottom of the doodle swirl. This is actually the first time I've done my doodle guys like this, and I really liked it. Art is about experimentation. Coming up, you're going to see me coloring in the center of the sword black. I try to use different microns for that, but I've had my microns for years. I didn't realize how many of them were dried out. So it took me like 3 or 4 pens to be able to find one that actually was dark enough for the center. I used a 0.8 micron to draw the border around the doodles. This border is actually something new in my doodling practice. I feel like it creates just more cohesion amongst all the doodles. That thick border really brings everything together. I'd also tried to use white gel pen to make the sword stand out from the doodles, and it didn't stand out at all. So I decided to try my watercolors on this paper again, and it came out great. On previous tests of watercolor on this paper, I didn't like how the paper warped, but I've noticed that over time, the paper does end up flattening out, and if you use a very light wash like I did here, there's barely any warping at all. And the color I chose for the watercolor is a yellow-orange. It's supposed to represent Ichigo's hair, which to me kind of looks like cheddar cheese. The final thing I do here is color doodle Ichigo's hair. Ta-da! I really like this. I feel like it's the best fan art I've ever done, if you ignore that it's the only fan art that I've ever done. I'll put up stills at the end so that you can see it. I have a habit of painting myself while I'm painting my painting. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching. This was definitely a fun ride. This isn't something I would have ever done on my own, but it actually worked out really well. I'm always surprised when my art comes out really well. I don't know. I made some stylistic choices that I'm about. In trying to separate the sword from the background, I put the white around the doodles where the doodles went behind, but then I decided to do the watercoloring, and it just, now it looks kind of awkward, but that's okay. I think if I had thought about doing the watercolor instead of trying to, white out the background, I would have put the watercolor over the doodles, and that probably would have made it look more real or something. But that's okay. We learn. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked my video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of my videos, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notified every time I post a video, please hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button. So the quote for today is, if you want to make people dream, you gotta start by believing in that dream yourself, by Seiya Kanye, who is an anime character, so I thought that would be fitting. He's from Amagi Brilliant Park. Alright guys, I hope you ink well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!